Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that. I just needed to grab a drink. We are on page 4. We left off reading the question, which is a little confusing, but I do on the exam. Practice this question and the brief exercise 11.9 to get the gist of it. I think the Wiley Plus uses no ARO on your assignment. Okay, so Wiley Plus doesn't use ARO on your assignment. But do this question because it does, so you can see how it looks. I'm going to show you both. Okay, so keep this, and we will start on page 4. Okay. So I've got all my extra paper and stuff here. Okay, so assuming that the oil property was acquired at the beginning of the current year, provide the entry to record the acquisition of the asset. Now, generally, especially under IFRS, land is recorded separately if it's not being affected. I'm just going to check my wording on that. Yep. If it's not being depleted. It's not being depleted. Right, because when you're done, you'll still have land. Okay, so our acquisition, we're going to debit land, debit the oil well asset. Oil wells asset, like that. And we're assuming it's cash, obviously. It probably wouldn't be, but that's how it is. So looking back at your question, how much was the land? It was $2 million. Now, the oil well asset, the rest of it, we're going to take the $5 million plus the $6.25 million. So everything we paid for it, whatever we've put into it, we had to do some work and stuff, that's going to go in. But we're not going to include the land. So the land is $2 million, which means that the oil well asset is going to be 9,250,000, and the cash is going to be 11,250,000. Okay, did everybody find those numbers on the previous page? Okay, now they're going to flip your page over. We're going to do the first scenario. Without the asset retirement obligation. So it's actually the depletion causes the damage. So it all goes into the production inventory. And the second scenario is with ARO. And in this one, depletion doesn't cause more damage in this case. Okay? You want to be careful because if they split the dollars, let's say in this case it's $300,000 into original damage and damage from production. This amount would be ARO, and this would be inventory. Now, guys, this is stepping into much more complex, because actually this topic is much more complex than it seems now, even though it probably seems crazy now. So if they split that up, then you do some in ARO, some in inventory. Okay, so you'll be doing some of that with the right account names in 316. Right now we're just kind of reducing you to it because it has to do with depletion. Okay, go to the back of the page or a new page or something, and we're going to do scenario 1. So this is the second entry, and it's recording depletion, and there's no ARO. So the first thing we have to do is figure out the depletion cost per barrel. Oh, so this is situation 1, sorry. Depletion cost per barrel, or whatever the unit is. Okay, so we're going to take the cost of all the land and everything we put in. So we've got the 11,250,000. Take out the land since it's separate. And then we're going to add the 330 costs to fix, or rejuvenate, or replenish, or whatever you want to call it. So this is units of production. Here's all the costs, and we divide it by 500,000 barrels, which represents total barrels that it's going to produce. Okay, did everybody find those numbers? Okay, so that works out to 9,580 over 500,000. And always round this exactly to 2 decimal places. This one just happens to work. So truncate it. Okay, so first we have to do that. So now we're going to do the entry to debit. So the journal, debit inventory, and credit accumulated depletion. Okay, so the first entry on the other page we did was we bought the land and got it all ready to start the drilling. Here we've drilled. So we have to record, we have some inventory now, we've got some oil to sell, and that means we've depleted our whole source of oil. Okay? So, how many barrels did we pull out this year? Well, 21,500. And how much is the depletion per barrel? 1916. So that, and you guys, I hope my math's right because I just redid this question. 411940 to add in the land to make sure that's covered. And I just wanted to make sure it was good. Okay, so that's situation or scenario 1. So now it's situation 2, second entry, depletion with ARO. Okay, so first of all, you start off, and the depletion cost per barrel is the same. And that's going to be the amount that goes into inventory. And then we'll split it up and I'll show you. Okay? So we know it's 19.16. So, our journal entry, we're going to debit inventory, and it is 411940. But the difference is we're going to credit accumulated depletion and credit ARO, which is a long-term liability, just so you know. Now, the calculation for ARO is we're isolating that 330, the cost to fix. And we're saying none of it's going into inventory. So, or rather not none of it's going into inventory. We have to create a liability for it for later. Okay? So, oh, did I make a mistake on the other page? Yes, I did. You guys, I'm sorry. Let's go back to page 4. So, damage from production, this is on page 4, it doesn't go into inventory. Inventory holds both amounts. The damage from production goes into accumulated depletion. I'm sorry about that, you guys. And you'll see exactly here what we're doing. So, ARO, we're going to isolate that 330 and do our own cost, our own units of production. So, that 330 is going to be split over 500,000 barrels. And you don't need to, you can do the calculation, or you can just multiply it by 21,500. See, here we did it in 2 pieces. First we did this, then we multiplied it. Same idea. So that works out to 14190. So the ARA is 14190. And that means accumulated depreciation is the rest. You put depletion is the rest. You just fill in the blank, and I hope this is right. 397750. Okay. Again, you guys, once you get into 316, you'll be doing this again, but you'll actually be estimating the asset retirement obligation, the present value of it, and the wording will be a little more clear. 316 is a little more clear because usually it's not just ARO or depletion. Usually it's both. Okay. So here's the 2 different entries, one with ARO, one without. Brief exercise 911 is this one. Okay. And Wiley Plus is the top one. Okay. Make sure you know how to do both though. Again, I will tell you, use ARO or don't use ARO. Okay. So that was the second entry. And this was the depletion. Yes, depletion, not depreciation. Depletion. Okay, now we go back to page 4. And we need to record the sale of the oil for the year. So going back here, let's see what information they gave us. How many barrels, what the cost was, so we can do a sales entry. Sometimes the questions don't give you the selling price, not cost, selling price. Let's draw a little arrow, sell price. Sometimes questions don't give you that. Then you just skip sold because that's really the entry they're interested in. Okay, so we have the sales price. So we can debit AR and credit sales, or you could have used cash. for 12,000 times 85. Notice there's a difference between production and selling. Okay? They're kind of combining manufacturing and merchanting at the same time. And that works out to 1.02 million. Now we debit cost of goods sold and credit inventory for what it came into inventory at. So it came into inventory at what price? 19.16. So we take 12,000 times 19.6, which gives us 229,920. 229,920. And that's depletion. The ARO really is a little, what's the word? A little trickier, and you don't really get the whole picture here. You will in chapter 6, chapter 6, in 316, and could be the second chapter, where you learn long-time loadies. But I hope you kind of get the gist and understand. On the final, I will tell you whether there's ARO or not. I've read lots of these kinds of questions, and these weren't clear whether you should split it or not. Okay, I'm going to end this one, and then we can come back and do revision of depreciation, another exciting topic in this chapter. Hey, I have to entertain myself. Okay, see you later.